everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. In today's recipe we're making Ladna or Radna. It's a Thai dish that is full of veggies and a really thick gravy sauce that's poured over noodles. I've got the ingredient list down in the description box below if you want to check that out. So let's get started. So I brought my water to a boil and then I went ahead and turned it off once it got to that. Now I'm sticking my rice noodles in. And it doesn't need to be in this water for too long, maybe about 5 to 7 minutes, just until they get soft. So you can see the rice noodles are really hard and they're actually going to get really soft and flexible like normal noodles. And I'm going to cover it so the same heat cooks up the noodles. So now that those 5 to 7 minutes have gone by, your noodles should look like this. So they're now white, and you don't want to overcook them. They're really soft. So what we're going to do now is rinse them with cold water and add a little oil to it and set them aside. Make sure all of the heat is out. So run this with cold water for a bit. Okay, I've added a little oil to the bottom of my pan, and now I'm adding the noodles. I'm gonna fry these up for a little bit. So the way to tell if the noodles are ready, we finished cooking them off here in the pan, is that you'll notice they start to stick. I go ahead and turn them or toss them so that all edges get fried up. But it's now become one big cluster, so that's how you could kind of tell. So now we're going to remove it from the heat. And set it aside. With your ladna, you can either make it a vegetarian dish or you can add protein. Normally it's served with pork, but I'm actually going to make it with chicken. I'm going to dice it up into fine pieces, and I'm using chicken thighs. So cutting that into strips and removing all the fat. So to my chicken, I'm going to add a little bit of bouillon powder or any kind of chicken flavoring to enhance the flavor of that, and some tapioca flour. We're going to let this marinate. You don't want to use all your tapioca flour though, just half of the mixture. You can also go with a simple, just black pepper and salt mixture if you would like. Make sure all of this gets coated. Be careful with your seasonings. Make sure they don't have that much salt, because throughout we're going to be using soy sauce, fish sauce, which tend to be very, very salty. If you don't have tapioca flour, you can also use cornstarch. So I've got my heat on medium-low with some olive oil. Now I'm going to saute my garlic just for a few minutes. Make sure you don't burn this. And now we're going to add our bean paste sauce. Make sure to blend both ingredients in for an additional 3 minutes on medium heat. Now that those 3 minutes have gone by, we're going to add our chicken in. And cook this up until it's almost well done. I'm going to turn up the heat just a little bit more than medium now that the chicken is in. And we're going to coat the chicken with all these yummy flavors. Now that the chicken is almost cooked, I'm going to add my broth, and I'm using a low sodium chicken broth. I'm just going to bring this up to medium-high heat and wait for the tapioca to thicken up the sauce. Remember, we marinated the chicken with a little tapioca flour and that marinade. So let's wait until it thickens just up a bit. Now that the sauce has thickened up a bit, we're going to add our fish sauce. sugar, using raw sugar, and oyster sauce. At this point you add your veggies, and you can use any veggies of your choice. I like to add carrots, some serrano for some spice, some cabbage. And I like tons of veggies in mine. A lot of people like to do just bok choy or some kind of just leafy green. I think asparagus would be great with this as well. Got some mushrooms, but I'm going to wait on that until this gets soft. Another reason why I like to cook up my vegetables before I add the remaining broth is because I want to see how much water the vegetables add to this dish. Remember, it has to be just a little bit thick, but you can adjust how thick you want it to be. I don't like mine too soupy, and Ladna should not be soupy. I'm going to add my mushrooms now that the vegetables have wilted some. And our scallions. Give this a good mix. At this point I'm going to add my soy sauce. Try this out as you go because we've added all those other sauces that are salty. I'm going to add my broccoli. I'm going to add some tapioca flour with chicken broth. Because I added a lot of vegetables, this became very runny, as you can see. It's not thick, and this should be a very thick gravy. Leave this all cooking on medium heat. And as the final vegetable, I like to add some bean sprouts. I'm going to add those now because they're really soft. They cook up very quick. So by now I'm going to turn off my stove and let this mixture sit. The bean sprouts will get soft in just a bit. They'll start to wilt. Now with my Ladna, I like to add a little sesame seed oil for additional flavor. Just add a tiny bit. So my sauce has thickened up nicely. If you want a thicker sauce, you can always add more tapioca. Now the way to serve this is setting your noodles down at the bottom and then pouring this mixture over the top. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you in the next video. For any requests, make sure to leave a comment down below. Thank you.